It's a push to reduce the carbon footprint on Minnesota highways. Governor Tim Walz wants to reduce emissions while also propping back up the state's ethanol industry. Governor Walz was in New Hope Thursday to make a push for biofuels. He's urging state lawmakers to pass new grant funding to help gas stations dispense a wider variety of ethanol blends. Delane Cleveland is in New Hope with more.
Shannon, the pandemic has hit Minnesota's ethanol industry hard. At the start of the outbreak, demand for gasoline tanked, and in the process, it had a significant ripple effect for Minnesota's ethanol industry. Now the governor is looking to help the ethanol producers, and in the process, help reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
It's time for us to make sure that consumers have the choice when they pull up to a pump anywhere. They can put in clean-burning, Minnesota-made biofuels, and we can start thinking about what that looks like into the future as we increase blend limits, because what we know from the research is these fuels work. They work in our newer vehicles, they work in our older vehicles. We can expand that usage. It just needs to bring it to the consumer so they can make the choice.
Governor Walz is urging state lawmakers to pass his Biofuels Infrastructure Grant Program proposal. The program would enable Minnesota filling station owners to upgrade their tanks, pumps, and other equipment so they can safely dispense a wider variety of ethanol blends. Meanwhile, there is a coinciding push by the Biden administration for vehicles to go entirely electric. Walz believes a push to increase biofuels will be a sustainable stopgap for the foreseeable future.
This is going to take some time. Electric vehicles make sense, or we're talking about infrastructure for electric vehicles too. But we're going to continue to need to use fossil fuels into the future. Those electric vehicles do not impact construction equipment, farm equipment, things like that.
Lawmakers here say that the bill does in fact have bipartisan support. Meanwhile, if you're wondering whether your vehicle can take the higher ethanol blend, lawmakers here say that any vehicle produced after 2001 can in fact take E85. Reporting in New Hope, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Local DFL lawmakers on Thursday touted a bill that would increase funding for public safety and implement several criminal justice reform measures. The bill proposes an overall funding increase of $71 million for state public safety agencies. It also requires law enforcement to release unedited body camera footage of officer-involved shootings within 48 hours to the deceased's family. And it modifies the definition of mentally incapacitated for criminal sexual conduct cases to include victims who voluntarily became intoxicated. Representative Cedric Frazier of New Hope, who is vice chair of the Public Safety Committee, responded to critics who say the bill is, quote, anti-law enforcement.
None of the bills in this omnibus are radical. We are seeking to give more power to our citizen councils, which are going to help build relationships with law enforcement communities, between communities that have had some distrust for a long time now.
Representative Samantha Vang of Brooklyn Center also criticized Senate Republicans, saying they've not heard a single police accountability measure following the George Floyd incident. She urged both parties to work together. In less than a week, we'll find out the top two candidates in the Brooklyn Park mayoral race. 7 candidates are running in the primary to replace Jeff Lundy, who is now serving on the Hennepin County Board of Commissioners. Brooklyn Park City Clerk expects a 15% voter turnout. He said so far about 1,000 people did early voting.
We are open Saturday for early voting from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And then Monday is the last day of early voting from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. And on election days, the polling places open up at 7 o'clock and they close at 8 p.m.
The mayoral primary takes place on Tuesday. The top 2 candidates will face off in the special election on August 10th. Spring is a time of renewal and new beginnings. Neil Persley found members of the Plymouth Rockers Senior Chorus reveling in renewed friendships and a simple face-to-face rehearsal.
This is really excitement. I mean, we haven't met about 14 months since we last met in person.
You could feel the energy in the room.
Sopranos are somewhere over here.
The Plymouth Rockers came ready to rock.
Here today for our first rehearsal in a year. We rehearsed, our last rehearsal was on March 7th of 2020.
Although much has happened in the last year,
we've been sequestered, sheltered in place.
Social interaction for these seniors was frozen in place with the lockdowns.
We miss it terrible. We just, it's part of our health, keeping healthy.
The biggest thing is It's just not having the social contact, the actual physical contact.
As these Minnesota senior warblers emerge with newfound confidence from their vaccines,
all of us here have had 2 shots probably, so.
they echo similar sentiments. Have you been looking forward to today?
Yes. Been telling all my friends I got rockers practice Monday morning.
The 3-decade-strong Rockers normally perform 30 to 40 concerts a year, including 2 major public concerts.
I like it because mostly what we bring to other people when we go into the nursing homes or assisted living, and you just see the people, their eyes light up.
The schedule will be abbreviated this year.
We've got Pi Day coming up, which is going to be the first Thursday in June. We're going to sing for that. We are scheduled to sing at the Hilly Performance Center on the 22nd of June.
But for now, just being together for rehearsal is a welcome change. In Plymouth, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Thursday was a big day at Cooper High School as students in 9th through 12th grade came back to class.
So it's been over a year since our students have been back in our building. So we kind of view it as a grand reopening kickoff. We've just want to show that we missed not only our students but our staff here, and the excitement, the energy, just being back in the building.
The jazz band played several numbers before the opening bell. About 60% of the students opted to finish out the year with in-person learning.
Oh gosh, I was so excited. I missed playing with a group of people. Like, it's just different than being at home by yourself playing your instrument. Like, it's just like a group atmosphere, it's a good feeling, and there's nothing like it.
And we will leave you with a little of the Cooper High School Jazz Band from their grand reopening day.